Another energy regulation out of the Environmental Protection Agency. Here to tell us about it is Daniel Kish of the Institute for Energy Research. Daniel, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, James.
It's kind of hard to keep track. These things have come out of the Washington bureaucracy and the EPA in particular. This is a new regulation, I believe a final rule, correct me if I'm wrong here, on methane, which is a part of natural gas, but it's also released in the production of oil. I assume the knock on it is a greenhouse concern, or are there other pollutants that EPA is trying to stop here?
It's global warming. It's part of the fetish, James, to be honest with you. I don't know how else to put it. And you mentioned before that maybe this was a parting shot. Far from it. They've got a full drawer full of these things. I mean, they're going to town. And this last one seeks to reduce methane is natural gas. It's what, when you turn on your stove or your furnace, and what we use increasingly for our electricity. And what they're saying is, companies, you're wasting too much into the air. It's not in you're not doing what you could do to make money on it. So we're going to tell you how to make sure none goes in the air. And this is, to put this in perspective, the impact of this in the year 2100, according to their own numbers, and if you believe that, is 4/1000ths of a degree difference in the temperature of the world in 2100. But they've got other ones.
Okay, and that's the EPA's own number. They're saying, according to their analysis, this is going to have almost no impact on the climate roughly a century from now. And
yes.
And at what cost?
At a cost that they say, now, you know, again, they're traditionally very bad at underestimating the cost of things. They say it's going to cost $535 million a year, but what it really does is it makes it harder to produce natural gas in the United States. It means fewer wells will be drilled if the economics aren't right, and adds to the cost of drilling wells. And now, since they've already killed the coal industry and they've hooked us all up to natural gas for our electricity supplies, it means that when the price bounces back for natural gas, that's going to be reflected in our electric rates, and those old electricity prices are going to necessarily skyrocket. So you get the picture.
Well, just we got to leave pretty soon, but just to tie in again, we talked about how they've got a few months left in the Obama administration, so that would be a reason to move ahead with this now. Also, do you think the fact that natural gas is so cheap right now is another bit of the timing here? Is the thought that you could throw on some regulatory cost without getting too much of a pushback now because it is so much less than it has been?
That's right. But they also know, because the numbers are already creeping up, the Journal has a story about gas prices going up today. And again, because we've now hooked up our electrical system to much more natural gas, when those prices do go up, and when these new regulations add additional costs to the price of natural gas, you're going to see it not only in your home heating bill, but also in your electric bills. It's going to harm our competitiveness for making things in the world. It's just another, there's no climate benefit, there's huge costs, and it's going to cost us in terms of our energy, but it does make those kinds of sources that he likes more, wind and solar, look better, even though they're still more expensive. And you know, those are the folks who contribute to his policies, and that's kind of the way Washington has turned out to work.
Sad, another sad story from Washington. Daniel Kish, thanks for sharing it today.
Thanks, James.